My mom's like a really big deal at our church. She's like the top dog. I don't really know what her role is because I'm not really that into the church. I tried to tell her something very important to me. I told her, Mom, I have a boyfriend. I'm gay. Well, that was the worst thing I could have possibly told her because she is not happy, and now she's trying to kick me out of the house, but wait, it gets so much deeper. Hello, my name is Alex, and I'm one of the many people who are judged because of their sexuality. My mom would be one of the people who would judge me because she's against me, and she's also a Christian education director at a church. Her assistant usually comes to get her from home for church every Sunday. I feel like the only person who truly understands me is James. I also have a colleague who, at work, who acts weird around, and it's annoying. Let's get you on the bus. I have a very tough childhood because I don't like what other boys liked, and I was judged for it. I was called names at school and was not even allowed to hang out around kids, as apparently I was a bad influence, and my mother was so worried because I preferred playing with dolls and kitchen toys. So, I would say that my mom was kind of ashamed of me. At first, it got to me, but I realized that I had nothing to be ashamed of because this is who I am. Kids in my neighborhood did not invite me to their birthdays because they said that I was weird. I never actually had birthday parties because at the first birthday party that I threw, no one showed up. Although I've invited so many people and they promised to show up, they did not. So, every other time that my mom wanted to throw me a birthday party, I told her that it was just going to be a waste of money and that it would be better if we saved it or used it for something else that was worth it. Maybe like buying a birthday cake and celebrating just the two of us, then had a day out. My grandma always understood me, and so I became a loner after she died. I was left all alone and I did not talk to anyone else. The hardest thing is that I could not come out to my mom because she was a church lady. Still is. She's even part of the management, which only makes it even harder. So, that's why I decided to keep quiet and stay in the closet. And then she asked if I was okay. I would always tell her that I was fine, although I wished that I could talk to her. And then I went to high school, and my mom got even more worried because I did not have a girlfriend. She asked me if I was interested in any girl, and I said no. I told her I was too busy with my studies and just wanted to make something of myself, so I would rather stay single. After high school, I went to college, and when I went to college, it was different, because people actually accepted who I was and were not judged. There's even a whole society for the LGBTQ+, and I felt welcomed. That's where I met James. James helped me get over the people who were against me, and he made me confident. I appreciated him so much. As much as he made me confident, I still did not have enough of it to face my mom and simply tell her that I'm gay. She kept insisting that I get a girlfriend, but I told her that I was not interested in such. And now that I'm a police officer, I want to make the world a better place for everyone, including people who are against me, who are disadvantaged. Well, one thing is that people don't get there is nothing wrong with being different. I promise. Being different only makes you unique and special, but people are scared of being different because they're trying to fit into society. Anyways, our relationship with James is becoming so serious that he wants to meet my mom, but I told him that I'm not ready for him to meet her. The truth is I'm still in the closet, and my mom doesn't know that I'm gay, and I don't want him to feel like I'm using him. Apart from my mom being on my case about getting a girlfriend, I have a colleague at work who doesn't like me because of my sexuality. I really don't think there's a problem with liking your own gender, though. He's been gaslighting me, and he keeps saying that I should not expect a promotion because nobody appreciates people like me. And he says that being a senior officer does not suit me. He throws shade all the time. Although I try to avoid him, he's always trying to pick fights with me, but I'm not the fighting kind of person, so I do what I always do best, which is avoid people. I try as much as I can to avoid him. James is saying that I should press charges for defamation of character if he goes too far, but I feel like that's overreacting because there's some things that you just don't need to involve the authorities with. that people overreact about. I just hope he stops doing this because it's really annoying, and I don't want to have to change stations or involve the authorities like James did. I'm honestly the kind of person who's down to earth and accommodating to everyone, but I also have boundaries and limits, so I would not want him to cross the limits, and then I would end up doing something, especially now that people are starting to accept me for who I really am. Honestly, I'm just super done trying to fit into society, because society only breaks you and makes you forget about who you really are in the inside. I see so many people who are lost because they're trying to impress other people, just so that the other people can accept them, but that's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to accept someone for who they are. Even friends are fake these days, you can't really trust anyone. But I'm glad that I have James, whom I can trust, and I can always run to him whenever I feel down because he's the nicest person and the most understanding person I've ever met. I really hope that he's here to stay. I do, and I hope that my not coming out to my mom will not affect our relationship. But I just feel like I can't face this world without him. He makes the world a better place for me, and he makes me forget all the criticism and all the stigmatization that I go through during the course of the day. Update number 1. Hey guys, I'm back again. It's been about 7 months since my last update, and what I feared most is real. What happened is that James and I went out for dinner, and I felt like it was time for us to move to another level when it comes to our relationship, since we've been dating for over 2 years, and I'm certain that I want to spend the rest of my life with him, but the problem came because he thinks he doesn't know me enough. I proposed to him on a dinner date, and as much as he was excited, he was sad to turn down the proposal. He said that he could not marry me without knowing who my mother was, so he insisted that we visit my mom. It's not that I have a problem with him meeting my mother, but it's just that I haven't opened up to my mom yet. I know that she will simply not accept me, and I know that she might even disown me. She's a secretary in church, and she would not want anyone to know what her son is. I'm running out of excuses to tell my boyfriend that he doesn't even know that I still live with my mom. What do you think I can do to convince my boyfriend to marry me without knowing my mom? I know that she will not accept it, and I feel like I want to just cut her out of my life already so it's less painful. I've been rejected once by so many people, and I know that she might just reject me as well. And it's not something that I'm willing to sit and watch. Right now, I'm living in my head, and I don't know if I'll be okay anytime soon. Even our lieutenant's worried about me at work because I haven't been doing my job very well. I'm missing paperwork, and I'm misplacing evidence, and I just feel I might lose my job because this whole thing is so stressful. Because no one's willing to understand me. The world is really cruel. Another reason why I'm so lost in my mind is because we had another argument with James a few days ago. And this time it was heated. Not the usual arguments that we usually have. You know, the arguments that we resolve in a few hours. But this time he went on for 2 days without talking to me. He was really mad at me for lying to him. He came to ask me why I was not willing to let him meet my mom or even go to my place at all, and as much as I trusted him, I just could not hurt his feelings, so I was trying to make up excuses like I always do. But this time he was really angry and he wanted to know the truth. And I quote, "How do you want me to settle down with a person who does not want to tell me who he really is? I'm really trying so hard for our relationship to go on and for it to be healthy, but you're not letting me in. You're emotionally unavailable, and it hurts because now you have so many secrets. How do you expect me to even trust you?" I could see the love and the pain in his eyes, but the pain was overshadowing the love. I could not help seeing him like that. He looked like a puppy longing for its owner's love, so I had to tell him that I had not came out yet. And I still lived with her under the same roof. And if I told her, she might even lose her position at church, or she might end up disowning me, which I cannot afford to do because she's my pillar of strength, and I don't want to disappoint her and be a bad son. He looked at me with anger and pity, and he asked me why I was so hesitant to tell him the truth, and he asked me if it was possible for him to trust me again.
After lying to him and giving him so many excuses over and over, I did not know what to say. What if he ran off just because of that? I mean, how was I supposed to know that he would not leave if I told him that I was still in the closet back at home? I expected him, out of all people, to understand me. He kept yelling and shouting, and he even went to the point of breaking glasses, and he said that he was not willing to settle down with somebody who would lie to him. I must say that it broke something in me. I love him so much, and I don't want us to end like this. He asked me to give him space, and I'm willing to do that, but I'm scared that the space he asked for will be mine forever. I've never been appreciated like he does, and it makes me scared of losing him. Update number 2. It's been 3 months since my last update, and things are going bad and great at the same time, which is weird. So let's start with the bad news first. Like I said, I was so scared of telling my mom that I was gay because I knew that she was going to reject and disown me. And I was right. I know that my mom is really against it, and because her son came out to her, she decided that it was for the better if I moved out. It was not a decision that she gave me time to do. She literally threw me out of the house, can you believe it? Well, she said that I was not worthy to be called her son, and she called me ungrateful. Has she done so much for me that I have to change who I am just to show how grateful I am? She's my mom, and she's supposed to understand what I'm going through and who I am. And I'm supposed to know that I can trust her after a very long time of being in the closet. Finally, when I grew a little bit of trust in her, she threw me away like I meant nothing to her. Such people do not deserve to be called mothers. I was drowning myself in sorrow and alcohol, and I was doing really badly at work to the point where I thought I was going to get fired. But surprisingly, I'm still standing and I'm still doing my job. After my mom disowned me, she had the audacity to use my name just to get out of jail. Can you imagine? You're probably wondering how she went to jail. Well, she was caught driving under the influence, and I guess it was also a way of trying to get me to quit my job. So when she went to jail, she told my colleagues that I had cleared her case and that she was ready to go home. Because everybody knows me at the station, they believed her, which is surprising because they're not supposed to believe just anyone like that. Then why are robbers in jail when they can just lie to get their way out of prison? I mean, come on. I'm so angry at her right now, and the crazy thing is, my colleagues only came to let me know after my mom had already left. I could not tell him to go arrest her again, but if she bothers to do it again, I will be forced to take action against her, whether she's my mom or not. I pledged to go by the law, and I'm not going to change that because I'm trying to save my mother. The crazy thing is that my mom is judging me because I'm gay. And on the other hand, she's going around drinking alcohol, and she tries to act like a saint, but she's no saint. I don't get why she's acting like I'm the devil when she's also going around doing so many sinful things. She's the leader of a church, and for people to respect her, it's because they see inspiration in her, but instead, she's going around drinking and getting herself into trouble with the police. What kind of leader does that? Why would she even make me feel bad about myself and still use my name to get out of prison? If only I were as evil as her. Then maybe I would have gone to church and told them what kind of person she really is, but I have better things to do with my life than go around doing revenge. Well, enough of the bad news. After I told James that my mother had disowned me, he asked me to move in with him, and I was so excited because I thought he was going to leave me after lying to him. Apart from that, we also got married. And it was short notice, but we had just had to do it. It was not a big wedding, it was just a small get-together with loved ones and people who appreciate us for who we are. It was lovely, it was mind-blowing, and I enjoyed every little part of it. What can I ever do without James in my life? He's done so much for me, even when I lied to him and hid things from him. He's still there for me. I do appreciate every single little thing that he does for me because he made me who I am today. My love for him is the reason why I got the strength to open up to my mom. And even though I was scared that I would not be able to live without her, I'm actually living pretty well without her. I'm doing great, and I'm so proud of myself. The greatest thing to happen to me is to have a husband like James. Update number 3. Hey guys, it's been 6 months since my last update, and I don't know what's gotten into my mom. She's becoming an alcohol addict, which is not a good thing for her in the church as well. So what happened is that my mom was caught again under the influence while driving. And so she was in police custody for about 2 days. My colleagues came to me and told me that my mother has been arrested, and she's trying to use my name to get away with it again. Because she knew that she was not going to get through with it, she asked my colleague to come and talk to me. I had already made a promise that I was not going to pay for it or anything if she was caught under the influence again, because I could not be going against my pledge. I went to see her as requested, and she kept asking me to bail her out, and I could not do that. I refused. I could see the way that she was boiling with anger, and she could explode. She then started throwing all sorts of slurs at me, and I really didn't want to get into the details of it, but they were hurtful. Just talking about them made me want to drink myself to sleep. My mother keeps calling me ungrateful, and she says that after everything she's done for me, I decided to stab her in the back. Well, what she is not getting is that I do not owe her anything. And now that I've come out to her, it's giving her another reason why she feels like I'm below her expectations and her satisfaction. But I cannot live by dancing to my mother's tune. She kept insulting me over and over and over. I decided to walk away because it felt like the right thing to do. The most painful thing was that I was hurting, and I could not talk to my husband about it. He would be furious because he asked me never to go back to my mom's. It took me so long to get over the fact that my mom had disowned me, and he knew that it broke me, so he wanted me to stay away from her so that I remained healthy. I had to keep it from him for so long, and trust me, there's nothing worse than not being able to talk to your best friend about something that's hurting you so badly. I honestly don't know what I did to deserve this kind of life, and this kind of torture, but I know that I'll survive. No matter what happens, I will always be a survivor. I'm conditioned for it, and it's not going to stop now. I think my husband can see right through me because when he asked me what was wrong, I lied to him and say that everything's fine. I was just having a bad day because of a case that I could not solve at work. I could tell that he was trying to solve the mystery just by looking at me. It was cute, but it was scary. Because I promised him never to lie to him or keep anything from him again, but what choice am I given? I really hope that he doesn't find out about this, because if he does, he'll be so angry at me, and he might as well just go the extra miles by going to talk to my mom about staying away from me. He can be very protective of me, and he doesn't like it when somebody hurts my feelings, especially if it's about my sexuality. As much as I appreciate it, I feel like sometimes it's too much because he might end up being aggressive physically one day, and then I won't be able to save him from it because it's going against my work and it cannot be undone. Update number 4. It's been a year since my last update, and I'm also just so fed up with my mom's behavior. I honestly want to change her, get her charged for defamation because she's accusing me just so she can get back to the church. So, because my mom has been calling me names, she's been texting me every time just to remind me of how ungrateful I am. Apparently, she kept texting that I got so exhausted and I had to tell James about it, and so the only way that we could go back at her was by announcing that we were actually a married couple. I could not just walk into a church and tell everybody that I was married. Of course, to a man. So I decided to post pictures on, social media of our wedding. And I knew that the news would reach the church because I had saved Ella's number. And Ella, being a member of the church, I knew she was going to announce it, and so she did within a week. In 2 weeks, the whole congregation knew that I was gay and had been married to a guy, and my mom had been full-blown alcoholic. After they found out, they started treating my mom like an outcast, and they blamed my mother for everything. I honestly did not feel any pity for her because of the way that she had been treating me lately. I wanted her to feel how I felt, the rejection that I felt every single time, and by the looks of things, she did not take it well at all. She was not only relieved from her duties, but she was also cast out. I also texted Ella to let her know that my mother has been in prison twice because of a DUI case against her. For that matter, the church was starting to know who she really was. I could not allow her to be fake with everyone else and treat me like I was a stranger, so I just had to do it to get back at her. And that's when she started accusing me of getting married to James just because of his money. She said that I had told her my plans, which are to get married to him and get divorced later so I can take half of his possessions. She was doing it because she wanted revenge, but it was going too far, and I didn't know how to stop it. That's exactly why I want to open up a case against her, because she's spreading rumors about me and about my character. How can a mother do that to a child? I don't get it at all. The one person who was supposed to protect me is the same person who's trying to ruin my identity. On this hand, there's my mom, and on the other hand, there's my colleague, who's also getting on my nerves. Well, I was getting on my own nerves. The good thing is that I've been promoted to lieutenant because I passed my lieutenant test. Even though I thought I was going to be demoted because of the way I was working the previous months, I actually got the position. My colleague was so jealous of me that he wrote a letter to the captain, literally explaining that I could not be a lieutenant because of my sexuality. He says that people would just take us as a joke and that nobody would take us seriously. He said the same reason we cannot be led by a woman, it's the same reason we cannot be led by a gay guy. So the captain called me and gave me the letter, and he asked what I wanted to do about it because I had the power. Well, I decided to demote him. He was aggravated, I could see it in his eyes, but I didn't care because I wanted to show him it's not my sexuality that determines what I can do in life. And just because I wanted to get back at him, so yes, I did so. Final update. Hey guys, it's been approximately a year and 2 months since my update and some change, and things have changed so much. So about 10 months ago, my mother broke into my house and spray painted the walls. She never actually stopped with all the slurs at me, and so she came to write even more offensive things on our wall that night. I knew that it should only, and would only, be her. When James woke up because he heard some strange noises, he quickly went outside to see who it was, and to his surprise, it was my mom, busy with spray paint in her hand. He was so angry that he decided to call the police on her, and it was kind of weird because, I'm the police, but I can't arrest her. So I had to wait for my colleagues as I was off duty. But anyways, we opened a case of defamation of character and trespassing against my mom because I knew that she was not going to change, and I've given her so many chances, but she just kept screwing it up because she doesn't care about anybody aside from herself. And for me to get peace of mind, I only have to get her out of my way. So, I don't know if that makes me a bad son for locking her away, but I pledge to make society a safe place for everybody, including myself, and I'm not going to stand and watch my mom defame my character. I'm not going to watch her ruin my life just because she's failing to accept me for who I am, and I'm not going to allow her to walk all over me just because she's my mother. I will do what needs to be done, even if it means putting her behind bars. She kept threatening me as she was being taken away, and that was used against her in court, so it was quite easy for her to be locked away. My colleague also came to me and apologized for being a jerk. Well, he said that he was just jealous of me and he wished that he was me, because the confidence I carry is way more than what he has. And when I became lieutenant, he wanted to find a way so that he could become lieutenant instead. Well, if he was just jealous of me, I must say that I am quite a man. Because if my own colleagues can be jealous of me, and then I carry more than what I think I carry. I'm so proud of myself, and I'm proud of James and proud of the life that I have now. I would not trade it for anything because this is perfect. James and I decided to adopt a child. And so now we're the father of a 1-year-old boy, and he's the prettiest child I've ever seen. He gives me baby fever, and I just can't stop hugging him. I can't wait to be here for the whole life. And I'm going to be a good parent to him, way more than my mom was a parent to me. I will make him feel so safe. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me. I thank you for being with me throughout the entire journey.
So I will mention almost all of the commenters, they were saying they don't blame OP for the way that he went about approaching his mom once he found out that she was the one who broke into his house at the middle of the night with all those spray paint cans. Most of the people were saying, yeah, she kind of deserves to go to jail. Just because she's your mom doesn't mean you should make an exception for her. Her behavior was toxic, nasty, and unacceptable. I do want to know your thoughts though, guys, so drop it down in the comment section. Let me know. Maybe you out there reading this right now and listening, maybe you've been through something similar. Maybe you know someone that's been through something similar. Guys, let me know your thoughts. My name's Mr. Redicto. Once again, thank you for coming to this channel today and joining me on today's story. If you guys want more daily videos, go ahead, hit that subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow, and remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.